Thank you, John and Helen. Last Saturday, we looked at entertainment and our economy, and it was such an eye-opening conversation. But today, my guest, Derin Phillips, and I will be talking about functional investment opportunities in the entertainment industry. Our aim is to try and simplify investment from all aspects. From corporates to governments to individuals to the talent themselves, and to try and break it down and help us understand how we can all be a part of nation building. So, thank you so much for being here, Derin. Let me officially introduce you to our viewers. Derin is CEO of investment management company Mavis Investment, and as some of you already know, he's a famous DJ, DJ Case. He's also a producer and songwriter. Derin advises our creatives on how to invest. So I'm going to give him a new title, Investment Whisperers to the Stars.
That's interesting.
So that's your new
Oh,
tagline.
an investment whisperer.
So let's very quickly try and chop it up and see how we can break down this whole investment opportunity spectrum. But the first thing I actually want to know is, how did you go from DJ to investment manager, or is it vice versa?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the program. I've actually been doing this for the past 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Most people don't realize, all the while I was a DJ, I was also a banker.
Wow.
And I traded fixed income. So I worked in the treasury departments for all of my banking career. So I've always had these two different worlds, and it got to a point where I kept on dividing the two. So most people that knew me as DJ Case knew me as DJ Case, and most people that knew me as Derin Phillips, the banker, knew me as that.
Derin
So
Phillips, okay.
it got to a point where, during, I would say, a bit of soul searching, I then discovered that it doesn't have to be one or the other.
You can do both.
We all have genius level talent, and the more you deny people that gift, which is essentially what it is, then,
The more you deny people that gift.
everyone has genius level talents, but
We
if
all
you
do,
focus on
actually.
just one area, you're actually not going to find it
Yeah.
in whatever areas of my life. So be your best, do your best life, and kind of that's what I'm preaching
Live
now.
your best life, but
Yeah.
work hard at it.
Yes, and be consistent.
And be consistent. So this thing, investment opportunities, I know you had mentioned to me earlier that one of the things that you do particularly is you help the talent, the artists, advise them on how to invest. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's a process I go through. You know, first is self-discovery. What are you about? What is your love language? How do you perceive?
How
do
does
you build
love language affect investment?
Because it has to do with relationships. Investment is all about relationships. If you're going to invest in a business, you have to know how to communicate with the business owner. You have to know how to communicate with your customers.
Okay.
And before you can know how to communicate, you must understand how you receive communication.
That's another genius level speech you're giving me there, because
So
that's
it's a process. It's like you first come up with a personality assessment badge, which is what I call it. And then you have a better idea of who you are, the kind of person you are, how you react in different situations.
And then what you can
And
invest
then,
in.
yeah, exactly. Because then you determine what your risk appetite is. Now, that is the first one. Even when it comes to entertainment, you have to have a certain amount of idea of exactly how much time you have. How much time do you want to place this investment? How much risk are you willing to take? How much return are you expecting for that risk? And you have to balance all these things out. So I really do the process of first educating you. It's quite an in-depth education on, first of all, the psychology of money and finances.
What is the psychology of money?
Then what is your attitude towards money?
Very true.
Most
Very
people's
true.
attitude towards money is negative. And
Very,
there's
very
no
true. Very, very
positive
true.
outcome that can come from negative thinking.
Very true. It's ironic because my coach once said to me that think about money as an individual and look at your relationship with
That's
money.
brilliant. Yes, exactly.
You know, and that was such a profound thing. So yeah, that is very true. So when we then say investment opportunity within the entertainment spectrum, people usually think about corporates, organizations, and individuals investing in the sector. Does that really happen?
Well, I think entertainment industry is very interesting because I've been fortunate enough to travel around the world, and I get to compare what it's like there. We still haven't gotten the structure in the entertainment industry right. There's a lot of attempts, a lot of conferences, a lot of discussions.
Why
trying
don't we
to
have
build
the structure right?
First and foremost, the royalty system. All the laws are there, but the execution is a problem. If you're going to raise money from financial institutions, they have to be a clear means of how you're going to repay back that money,
Okay.
or what your off takers are.
Okay.
In the foreign markets, because of the data they have due to the streaming and the royalty and the fact that if a nightclub plays your music, there's a certain amount of money that goes. If a radio station plays your music,
So anywhere in the world, if a nightclub plays
they have
an
to pay.
artist's
Yes.
song, they have to pay royalty. I thought that was just for radio.
Nightclubs, stadiums,
Anywhere your
where
song is
music is
played
played.
for commercial purpose, as
Yes,
opposed
and
to
you,
for personal
anywhere your
enjoyment.
music is played and money is being made off that, there's a
You're
certain
supposed
amount
to
of
get
money you have to pay
royalties.
to the collection agencies.
So that doesn't happen
No,
properly in
it's
Nigeria?
not enforced. It's not enforced as it should be.
Wow.
So that is a major stream of income that is being denied to artists.
So that's
And
money
the
left
ripple
on the
effect,
table.
exactly, the ripple effect is the financial institutions can leverage off that, amongst other things, even the touring sector. We'll come back to structure. We should have a tour circuit. You know, we should have. You should
Yeah,
know. There should be a venue in Ibadan. There should be a
Yeah.
venue. In Enugu.
Ironically, Dr. Yemi was saying that the last time when we were speaking as well. You should be able to tour the whole of Nigeria like
Easy.
other
It
artists
should be.
do everywhere in
It's,
the
it's
world.
a standard. If you want to promote your music in America, there are definitely places where you can go to. You know, it's a business. You know, that even speaks to the lower level of sort of the secondary market, so to speak. Because then you have tour organizers who that's all they do. They have a venue, they have a relationship with promoters, and then people come, they go around the state.
So I actually see that as a possible investment opportunity already
Yes.
because, and the thing is, I see it as an investment opportunity for all three sectors:
Exactly.
government, corporates, and individuals.
Yes.
Because they can all come together to build, I don't know, buildings or structures in different states.
I think it'd be amazing. I think it's something that I've had several discussions about. Adu Mikori, Chocolate City, he tried very hard to do that as well. We have talked extensively about it. So it's something that it sounds very obvious, and it's something that's done all over the world. But for various reasons, we can't get it. Even put it down to it, security is also a factor we have to take into consideration.
So if you were going to advise, somebody who is looking to change the status quo and be a part of the change in narrative and invest in our sector, give me 3 low-hanging fruits that they can actually do to invest.
Okay, first of all, I don't advise people on investing without having them go through the process. And the reason why is you can't apply the same formula to different people. So for instance, what I always describe is there are 4 things you have to take into consideration when you want to make any investments. There's the amount of time you have, the amount of risk you're willing to take, the amount of return you want for that risk, and then the type of investment product you want to go for.
Time, risk, return, and type.
Yeah, and the financial product. Now, the reason why this is important is because if I say entertainment, music industry is fantastic, there's this new artist I think you should invest in, or if I say there's a film that's coming out, it's thriving, somebody might have the money to do it, but they don't have the time. They're like, I want this in 5 months, I want this return in 6 months. Meanwhile, a movie might take that amount to shoot alone, not talk of post-production, and all the different factors. So it's a very individual, specific, tailored product. You can't say invest in it. But if I was to give a general advice, I'll say the movie industry is definitely one that is working. Just to put it into context, I was talking about having a clear form of repayments. You know, with the cinemas, they've managed to build a good structure of cinemas in the country. So essentially, when you're releasing a movie, you know, if they play it at different cinemas, you're going to get a certain amount. And, you know, the likes of Wedding Party and other, the Kemedi team has done a great job in maximizing that space. So that's one that is good. But, you know, as I said, you have to look at the various factors that you're looking into. Music, when it comes to music, the typical formula most people go for is investing in an artist. But then that's a very risky venture because a lot of people have lost a lot of money.
Though. Yeah.
Yes. You know, you have to work with kind of, I think the mistake most people make when they invest in an artist is they don't look at their character, right? They look at their talent. And then talent is just one sector of it. Character, not only in repaying back the money, but then also in terms of working with other people as well. You know, it's a very relationship-driven
Yeah.
industry, which is why I said you have to go through that personality assessment badge process to identify how you react to people. Because if you have an artist, you invest all that money, and they end up disrespecting all the key players, they end up not turning late for interviews, they end up not fulfilling that side of the bargain, it's going to affect your business. So it's a very thorough process.
It is, and my recommendation to you is you have a lot more work to do, because you sound like the right person to break it down, not just for the artist, but for the corporate organizations as well.
I think that's why you call me the investment whisperer, right?
Yes,
Is that
the investment whisperer.
I like that name. Yeah, it's this is definitely a act of passion. It's something that because I belong to both worlds.
Yes.
I understand what person A needs and what institution B requires. So trying to bridge that gap is kind of why I'm doing this. It's a lot of financial education that I'm providing. And even the other side, helping artists. It breaks my heart seeing artists who successful career, end of it, they're on social media asking for help because they're sick, and when essentially their song should be sending their kids to school.
Yeah.
Benny King sang the song "Stand By Me," and that is the song that has just one song, sent all his kids to school, set them up for life, and they're still living off it till today.
What did he do differently?
He was just in a system that worked.
Okay.
Because that song, anytime it's played in a movie, he gets paid. Anytime it's played in a commercial, he gets paid. Anytime it's played in any stadium, he gets paid. And it's forever. Because that is his work. It's intellectual property. So the laws do exist here, but it's just the enforcement
Of the laws. Okay. So that is bigger than we can unpack. It really, really is, because it is bigger than we can unpack. But I really, really hope that things change.
Yes.
You
I
know?
mean, we're getting a lot of attention. Big shout out to Burna Boy for winning a Grammy. We're making almost the entertainment industry is doing things out of the air, for lack of a better word. We have the least amount of structure, the least amount of facilities, the least amount of infrastructure, and yet we're winning Grammys and we're doing great things. And it just
So we're winning despite, but then isn't it now our responsibility as a community to actually begin to effect change through communication and lobbying and breaking down doors and saying,
absolutely,
listen, this is what you can do, this is how we can benefit
absolutely.
you. So a
It's
lot
a,
more
it's a
that
constant
should be
effort. There are a lot of
happening.
conferences that are happening. There are a lot of discussions that are being had.
But are they the right discussions? Are they in the right... there's no point having lots of discussions to the wrong people.
Yes,
and I
yes.
think that's what is happening in the entertainment industry. A lot of the conversations being had are happening to the wrong audience, not the decision makers.
Well, I guess the Nigerian government is a special government.
But it's not just the Nigerian government, it's corporate organizations as well.
Well, okay, let's go back to my earlier experience. We happen to open venues in different towns, right? Once you open a venue, first, security factor. Not only getting from town A to town B, prevalent, but then even when you get there, you have the situation of area boys, you're safe, where you're going to stay, the speakers, the setup, the electricity, is it prevalent? Are you going to plug the system? You have to power. So those things make the whole...
The whole ecosystem
ecosystem has to be right.
Is problematic.
Yeah, but as I've said, we made it out of nothing, essentially, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep winning global recognition.
We will.
We're going to keep riding on the wave, not only in the film industry, but in sports and music.
Music and everything, yeah. Thank you so much, Derin.
Thank you.
It's been short, it's been sweet, and I really hope that our viewers have gotten something out of this. And I think this has been a really nice, really sweet conversation. And I can't wait to have you here again for a longer timeline. So please say yes now.
Yeah, of course I will. But I'm very accessible. You can reach me at Dr. Case. Also, info@mavisinvestment.com. If you have any questions, I usually have a lot of follow-up questions and interviews.
Yeah,
like this.
I will put up your details on my Instagram handle as well, because I think there are lots of people who will probably want to talk to you after this so they can understand better,
Sure.
and be a part of the change.
That's why I'm
So,
here. The
yeah.
investment whisperer.
Investment whisperer.
I like that.
So thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thank you for
coming
having
on
me.
here today. It's been awesome. And the only thing I would say is we all need to be a part of the change. You know, the entertainment industry can change the face of Nigeria. It's not just agriculture, it's not just technology. Entertainment is a huge deal from behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So let's all start looking at ways of investing and be part of the change in narrative. On that note, thank you so much from me. John, Helen, and myself will be back in a few seconds to wrap up today's show and tell you what we have for next week. So please stay tuned. Thank you.